Opinions expressed in this program are those of the program's host and guests, and not necessarily those of WSTU management, staff, or sponsors. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's now time for Leadership in Business, brought to you by Jon Campion of European Kitchen and Bath. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. And now, here's your host.
Good evening, Stewart, Martin County. It's I think it's August 3rd.
It is.
And then the next time we talk, it'll be like September 15th. It's
I know.
crazy.
I know.
This is Jon Campion, your host from European Kitchen and Bath, coming live to you off US 1 with my really great little host. He's not little, he's just smart. World famous Big Frank Mezzapel.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I didn't tell you that when I called you on my phone. The lady says your name exactly the way it's supposed to be said, with the little Mezzapel.
Nice.
I was like, I almost hung up. I did. The phone didn't work. Anyways, we're here today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the computer voice on,
your
Bluetooth.
Usually like if you say,
oh yeah,
call Lee Jones, it'll go, call Lee Jonas. And that is who our guest is today, Lee Jonas. No, Lee Jones from Clean Sweep Pest Management. I kind of had it here, but that's terrible of me.
It's all right.
And Lee and I've only known Lee for a few months, but boy, I'll tell you, it's like we've known each other forever, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
And Lee's I'm in a CEO group, and Lee joined. He's in the process of getting ready to launching his new company based in the area, and really have done a wonderful job. Tell us, Lee, you've got an amazing background. I mean, I got to bring him home and have him identify all the plants in my yard, but he's a citrus guy, and he's got a really cool compost product that he's working with, and they're, booking people. I want to start early with the phone number that people can call you at, because I wanted to, you've been working really hard at this, and it's fun to watch a company evolve in front of you.
Right.
Sure.
With recommendations from his CEO buddies, and then he goes and he does it.
Yeah.
That's really
imagine
more
that.
Yeah. Well, nobody listens to me. Yeah. They just, wonder, what did I bring to eat or drink, or, what kind of stupid jokes do I have?
I'll tell you what, the Treasure Coast CEO group, that's been amazing though. I mean, you and everybody else in the group. I mean, it's led by Timothy Kinane, and man, I tell you, because my background has been more word of mouth, because in the ag industry, so marketing and everything, it's all new to me, and it's really opened my eyes up being part of the group. It's been pretty amazing. But I wanted to first of all just thank John and Frank for allowing me to be on the show. It's an honor.
That's great. We've been trying for weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks. It's like, Lee, you want to be on the radio? Yeah. So I'm trying to get him in, and no, can't. Too busy. Busy dude.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Yeah. So
it's good. Good problem though.
It's a good problem to have.
Exactly. It is. And when I met Lee, I realized what a gem he was, because he speaks vibrantly about all your past histories and the knowledge that you have on growing stuff in general. And then, of course, around here, I mean, we're in the tropics.
Yeah. The
fact of your citrus knowledge, and the fact that the way, you kind of just melded right into doing this bug thing. And, you've set your goals. You've, written down what am I going to do? How many patients, how many customers will we have, and where are we going to get them, and how are we going to do
plan.
He has a great business plan.
Good.
And he has a great support team.
Exactly. That's the important thing. I mean, I would say that anybody new starting a new business, I would highly recommend getting a business consultant. And like Timothy Kinane, it's just been amazing. Just I feel like I've almost got a master's degree in business. Just
nothing he can't answer.
Just been just been in the group, and just
nice.
Listen. It's so awesome.
He was our first guest on here when we started the show.
The inaugural guest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's so awesome to hear in the group all the different perspectives. Because when we bring an issue to the table and everybody goes around, and just all the different angles and the different perspectives
Mhm.
everybody brings to the table. It's amazing.
Yeah, after
It's
we
really,
beat the crap out of Lee a couple
Yeah.
times, we just let her ride,
Yeah.
Clark. Let her ride.
Nice.
No, it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's been awesome.
Well, so tell us about your background.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, Lee's about a 25-year-old dude,
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
in about a 49-year-old guy's body.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I was born in 67, so
Okay,
I don't
do
know how
the
far
math.
back you want to go.
Oh, my car I have is older than you. I didn't realize that. Beat you by a year.
Exactly.
It's okay.
That's a nice ride too.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. It's like Frank says, when he's coming, not when he's, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
when he's coming. That
Yeah.
way,
Absolutely.
yeah. It was. By the way, just change subjects for a second. I did the classic car show at the B&A flea market
Oh,
Saturday. Other than the fact that I fried my butt off in the concrete.
crazy hot.
Yeah, I had one friend, come on over, I'm in the shade. I go over there, get like one leg in the shade. And, my left leg is burnt. And,
Right.
But anyways, I fried him up. But I had two different groups, people come up to me with my car, and I just, I pulled it out of the garage and put the top down on my 66 Chevy, and I had two people come up and say, I just want you to know you've got the coolest car here.
Oh,
I said, that's nice.
yeah.
But I didn't stick around to win anything because I had to get out of there.
Oh, the red is, red is the color you see in a lot of those cars for the 66,
Yep.
but you have a unique color.
Yep. Well, there's a guy there who had a 65 Chevy convertible,
Right.
red,
Yes.
original owner.
No, wow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Original owner.
Yeah, I said,
You don't
I
find
said,
that very
I
often.
can't,
That's
remember his
really
name, but I
rare.
looked at him today, Saturday. You guys know how I talk. I
Yeah,
can't.
Florida time.
Uh,
Right.
I said, who's this young guy with this long hair in this picture? He goes, get out of here. But this guy goes to every show.
Nice.
So, ever want to see it, he's got his red 65 Chevy original owner.
Wow.
So, hey,
That's cool.
he got it 2 years before you were born.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
So he must be, well, anyways, very
Yeah.
cool. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little background. So I graduated University of Florida in 1990, and with a degree in ag, a major in citrus and a minor in economics. And met my beautiful bride there, and
It must
got
have been
married.
fun going to school back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Oh, back then. So,
yeah, 90. That's 32 years ago now.
yeah,
That's
hard to
crazy.
believe, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So graduated there and married my wife in 90, Linda, and got two awesome kids. They're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
My daughter was born in 94, so that would make her 28.
Yeah.
And my son was born in 99, so that makes him, I guess, 23 now.
Wow.
It's crazy how time
He's
flies.
23, but he's too tall.
Yeah, he's 6'8", so he's a
That's
big guy.
amazing.
Yeah.
You guys must have fed him a lot of chicken and
Yep,
milk.
grope up.
Yeah, there you go. I got it.
Yeah.
Here's your chow, son.
So after I graduated Florida, I just worked in the citrus industry, started out driving a tractor, and then worked up to, the foreman, and then eventually general manager of some orange groves. And then I started in 08, I started consulting and caretaking business. So built up to 14 tractors, and it's crazy. Most people don't understand how much those tractors cost. I mean,
You were talking about that the other day.
yeah, those John Deere 6150, 6155s that I was running, those are $135,000 each.
Gosh.
And so, I mean, you stick your neck out when you're farming.
Frank, how many
and,
tractors do you have?
What in just in Florida alone?
No,
mean?
you. Yeah, right. Up in Michigan, I got.
The John Deere. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
bunch of tractors, and we built the business up, and it was doing good. I'm still doing consulting now. So I'm consulting for about 10,000 acres now, orange groves yet, and still doing that on the side. And but it built the business up, and then in about 2 years ago, then the brakes started coming on. Greening disease. I don't know, most people aren't probably really familiar with that.
Well, we have an AgNet report that we have posted here on WSTU.
True. Used to read that all the time.
Yeah. So we do kind of follow it here on WSTU.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's devastated the industry.
Yes.
Back 15 years ago, we were 250 million boxes of round oranges. It's 90 pound in a box. And this last year, we were a little bit over 40 million boxes. So it's
Wow.
gone from 250 down to almost 40 million boxes in 15 years. And that's primarily due to greening disease. And we were talking earlier about that.
Mhm.
It's just a shame that we don't have better border controls like the airports. Somebody snuck a tree in their luggage, and we think it was down around Miami somewhere, and had an Asian citrus psyllid on this. Maybe brought it in from China, put it in the yard down there, and the bug liked the environment here, like most of us do, and it just blew across the state. And then it's transmits. It's got piercing, sucking mouth parts, and it pierces into the new tender flush coming out of the trees, and it transmits the bacteria into the phloem, and then it's a phloem dependent bacteria, and there's no cure. So the bacteria grows in the phloem, and the phloem
Is this phloem? Is that what you're saying?
phloem is where all the photosynthates flow. It's where all the nutrients, the growth regulators, all that stuff flows through the phloem. It's like the veins of a person.
Okay.
And then the bacteria just basically clogs that up, and then the tree starves down basically. So, as farmers, we tried to slow feed it both ends. I owned a couple grows up at Frostproof, and found a sucker and sold them here a couple years ago. So I needed the cash flow too. But, so when COVID hit, then on top of it, a lot of these large companies, then they were heavily invested in hotels and restaurants as well, or whatever. And they were needing cash flow. So, and in the orange grows, if you're just barely breaking even at that point, or maybe losing a little bit of money, you're going to sell that off for cash flow. So that's what happened to my business on the caretaking consulting side. And but I've been killing bugs for 30 years, and a lot of the chemistries we use in homes, if it's safe for your food, it's also safe for your home. So there's a lot of the similar chemistries that we use for pest control in homes. So basically, I did a pivot about a year and a half ago, and with pest control, you have to have, it's a whole different set of licenses. On the ag side, I've got my certified crop advisor, my commercial applicators license, my my private pesticide license, and all that stuff. But on the commercial and home side, there's a different set of licenses. So I found that if I could buy somebody out and he worked for me full time, then I can utilize his licenses until I could become licensed, because it's a 3-year process.
Right.
And then, so I bought a little guy out. The little guy's wanting basically to retire. He only had 14 customers, basically doing it on the side. And we've grown that in a year and a half from 14 customers to about almost 220 now. And so that's pretty exciting. It's growing well.
Yeah.
And so was that with the pivot, was that fairly, not mindless for you because of your background? You go, well, what am I going to do? Sell sod, or, sell little, pygmy trees, or
Right.
pest management. And because it seems it's such a competitive
Yeah.
thing. It's like, to me, in my business, like guys who do cabinets. Oh my God, there's a zillion of people that make cabinets. So
on the ag side, if you're not good at killing bugs, you don't have a job. So,
yeah,
it was a natural.
I'm
thing
trying to
for
think
them.
of some of the people I know that came and have went, and maybe a couple since I've been here. I haven't really been paying attention to it, but I'm like, why isn't that guy coming to this club anymore? So,
Right.
Anyway, so
we started that up, and my son, it's been our dream to work together for years. And so we thought it was going to be in citrus, but now with this pivot, we're loving this pest control. It's all about relationship, and I'm a real big person on relationship. My relationship with the good Lord through Jesus, and the relationship with those around us. Those are, kind of the priorities of my life, and it's just an awesome thing to be able to, even have more relationships. When you're in pest
you're an
control.
easy guy to like,
So,
Lee. There's something about you. I don't know what it is. It must be your good looks. Right?
I'll go with
like
that.
you and I, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
We got the bald guy, the big guy, and then the little man with all the hair.
Right. Yeah.
Frank comes from an incredible background.
He's got some great genes, doesn't he?
Oh man, he's almost 80.
Yeah. Another 10 years.
Big Frank. I think he got the name Big Frank.
Yeah.
The most powerful Oz of them all.
Right.
Yeah, but well, okay.
So then on the cool thing about the pest control is, and my son actually, Peter, he brought this up, and he said, we really look at the pest control with a new set of eyes, fresh set of eyes when we're doing pest control in people's homes and in their yards.
That's true.
because, you know, we
You have to
know
come at
ag
it from
and-
a different
You
angle.
yeah,
know
so
it.
we
Yes.
kind of look at things from a little different perspective, and we've been very successful. We're,
Mhm.
you know, from the ag side, we're really super big on rotating chemistries, and a lot of the pest
Mhm.
control companies, they just use the cheapest out there and just whack them, you know, like pyrethroid or something, and
Right.
use those over and over again. We understand, and from the ag side, that, you know, pests, they build resistance, and
Exactly.
so you need to rotate chemistry. So we're big on that. It's not the cheapest way to go, because you know, when you're rotating some of these expensive chemistries, it's pretty expensive, but it's but that's, you know, we stand
if I
behind
had
it,
the
so.
choice, you know, let's say, so I have a pest control company taking care of my outside, my yard and everything. And you know, and they're doing the grass and all that stuff, right? I mean, are you doing it? You're not
Yeah, we
necessarily
do
doing the
yards.
grass, the yard all the time. It's the bush.
Yeah,
it's
some people
the,
just want their house for pest control, and some people want their house and their yards, you know, control chinch bugs,
you know,
webworms,
for me,
whatever.
I'm not in charge of that. But for me, it's like, if I have a company like you guys who understand everything and can, you know, notch it up a little bit to get rid of and then make everything the way it should be,
Mhm.
I'm all for it. So that if that costs me 30-40% more, as a customer, I would take that, because why settle for the, you know,
It's
why
all about
settle
the
for
end
the regular?
result.
It's the end result.
Mhm.
And so if you're using products that are getting rid of those dudes
Yep.
and those things, you know, I mean, there's enough creepy bugs down here.
Right. And then also to make things green, you know, there's a lot of soil chemistry, and
Yeah.
from an ag background, we understand that really well. And so, you know, we'll take soil samples in some people's homes if they get an issue going on, and test the soil, because we know the calcium magnesium ratio needs to be about 70-20. We know what the pH needs to be. So we really analyze things, and we can correct things, you know,
Mhm.
the best, you know, from an ag side, we've always corrected things in the most efficient way possible. And so we brought that into
Yeah. Well, you know, it's for me, it's been probably at least 5 years since I, you know, did any work on my yard. I can't cut the grass anymore. I mean, I just don't, which is great, because Dee Dee used to cut the front, and then we'd have our, you know, our Peter cut the back, and he'd complain and say, why don't you guys get somebody to cut the yard so I don't have to do this? So when he moved out, we did just to get him. But, you know, I mean, I just know that I would just love to have, you know, am I wrong in assuming that with the products you're using, you've kind of stepped that up a little bit, not to be the cheapest status quo
Sure.
thing just to slap out there and
Right.
build somebody, and you're doing
Yep.
this, you know, it's like Einstein used to do the same thing all the time, and it's like, it's stupidity.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'd like to know that if I was using you as my source, and you're got this thing elevated to go in, and, you know, I don't like to be surprised by something wiggling around on its back in my bathroom at, you know, 7 a.m.
Right.
Just kind of leave it there and hope Dee Dee gets it.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing we're doing now. So we're just launching in on this, you know, the home pest control, lawn, and all that stuff. We're launching composting, and using natural organic soil amendments to help out, you know, people's yards. And, you know, as a farmer, we've used compost in the orange groves or in farms for years. And so I was actually digging into it with the guy that, you know, we bought.
Pardon the pun.
You beat me to
I-
make
Yeah.
a comment.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, you fit right in with this group. Digging in,
Digging
Frank.
into it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
With compost. Yeah.
Ooh, Lee, you are
With
me.
there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. I didn't even
I'm gonna-
know. It was
I'm going to
funny.
start the sales meeting out with, I'm digging in.
digging in.
That's good.
So anyway, so I was talking to our compost dealer for the orange groves, and I said, "Does anybody do? We need to be doing this in people's yards, you know, because it, you know, there's over 200 microbes in there, increases the cation exchange capacity, nutrient holding capacity, the water holding capacity of the soil, and we need to be doing this in people's yards." And I asked him, I said, "Is anybody doing this?" And so he told me about a guy over on the west coast of Florida that's doing it. So I went over and rode with him for a day, and I was like, man, this is it. This is what we need to be doing. And especially, you know, especially on the East Coast here, you know, when you're near the river, most people don't understand, you know, synthetic fertilizer versus an organic natural source nutrients.
Well, I got to
And,
imagine that a natural organic material is going to become part of the normal ecology more easily absorbed.
Does
Yeah.
it
right?
do anything? That's my question would be, does it do anything to the river different than the synthetic?
That's the big thing. Okay. So I
'Cause they have a-
maybe I
they
can
have a-
try to,
Yeah, I'm sorry. One other thing I'm telling you as like somebody who doesn't know anything. That's why we do so well in this thing. Is I know that isn't like June 1st the cutoff where you can't fertilize because it can't leach
Right.
into the water to go.
no nitrogen or
No,
phosphates
for like
from
3 months or
June
something.
1st through September.
Okay.
And,
All right.
yeah, so that's blackout dates, and that's good and bad. So the good thing about that is, there's not going to be nitrates leaching into the river. That's going to cause any algae blooms because algae feed on nitrogen and phosphates, and the algae then
Septic
will
things.
crease, will kill the fish and wildlife and does all those negative things, and plus, almost make you cry if you get near it. Those algae blooms. I mean, it's pretty tough, but so it's the thing, I guess maybe I can try to explain a little bit of the chemistry. Maybe I can try to break it down to
To layman's terms,
Do it in 2 minutes.
we're gonna do
All
a
right.
break
In
real
2
quick.
minutes. In 2 minutes.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Yeah. So basically, synthetic fertilizers are water soluble. So when you put them in water or it rains or irrigates, they're going to dissolve and go through the profile.
Right.
And sand is not a very good holder of nutrients. It just basically, we're growing things hydroponically here in Florida. So the nutrients leach through the soil.
Right.
And so when they leach through the soil, they go out into the river, and that's what causes the issues.
Got it.
And soil is made up of sand, silt, and clay and organic matter.
Right.
And all of those things are negatively charged. And so there's negatively charged, it will hold positively charged, they
Correct.
attract.
Right.
And so of the 16 essential plant nutrients, most of them are positively charged. And then there's 5 of those that are negatively charged, and nitrogen, and phosphorus, sulfur, those are the 3 big players that are negatively charged. So negatively charged won't stick to a positive, they're not going to, they're going to repel.
Right.
So they're going to leach through. So nitrates and phosphates, that's why they put the ban on that. They leach through, and with the rain and all those things.
Right.
And compost or natural organic matter is water insoluble. So there's no nutrients that can leach. So the microbes have to break that down, and those breakdown products are what the plant takes up and is converted to a usable nutrient source for those plants, for the roots. So they're not going to, so there's no, in organic, organic compost, there's no nitrates or phosphates that are going to leach through and get into the river. And so I'm pretty excited about that. We're
wow,
nice.
Boy, that's
did I
what
do it in 2 minutes?
You did it.
Well,
right
it's
on
okay.
time.
We control all this stuff. Frank's just being
Well, but
Frank.
he did.
all right. Good
Yeah.
deal. We're going to take a break and come back. Frankie and Johnny and our new buddy Lee Jones.
Right.
Great to have you here, Lee. And we will continue on in just a couple minutes.
Right out. Stay tuned. You're listening to Leadership in Business with your host, Jon Campion.
I'm here somewhere.
Yes, from European Kitchen and Bath.
Yeah, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Mhm.
Only seen you once there this
And
week.
here he is.
This is me. There, you might have thought
But
I sounded like Frank.
I'm going to come by tomorrow, likely. I have some business in your area.
Well, you
So
better
I'll
come
stop
by
by.
in the morning.
Oh, wait, because you're going to
I
Vero,
gotta
right?
go to Vero tomorrow. Yeah, I gotta.
In the morning, I'm going to miss you then. Because in the morning, I
I'll
have...
miss you, Frank.
I know. I've got some work requirements over at Flagler tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
All righty.
Okay,
and
Lee.
now back to the show.
Back to Lee Jones, the show. Didn't I tell you we just got to get him going? We just let him loose.
Yeah,
and he
there you go. Mm-hmm.
Takes care of the 49 minutes or whatever
we're
it
talking
is.
about soil chemistry and
No, it's great. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm excited about now. When are you? How many composts have you done so far?
we've done 5, so we're just kicking it off.
All
Yep.
right. And how many have you done for real customers? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's
I
gonna
got my
go.
mom,
There's
my aunt.
there's a couple.
Yeah, right.
There's a big, tall, beastly man. His name's Peter. Don't worry, he's very harmless. You got the laughing,
we got
the
Wyatt
laughing
out there
Lee.
too.
Mm.
No,
Yeah, I was really blessed to get Wyatt on board with us too. So we hired him right off the bat.
who?
and,
Wyatt wasn't the older guy, was it? Or
no. So Wyatt, he graduated Warner University with my son. He was
Okay.
actually the best man at my son's wedding.
Aw.
And but just an awesome young man. He just really good business sense, and he just very cordial. Just
Well, I just cannot believe how easy a lot of these things that you guys targeted happened, which means that everybody was engaged.
Right person,
Yeah.
right
Oh,
time.
I listen to stuff in the media. I'm going, what? Hey, you want to buy a kitchen and bath company?
Right.
Two locations. No,
Not
I'm
one,
just
but
kidding.
two.
Yeah, that's right. But wow.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
what I've done. I really want to surround myself with success.
That's
and,
it.
Yeah, and I feel like I've got a really good team, and
Yeah.
Till they decide,
Making it happen.
Dad, I'm going to Nebraska.
yeah, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Uh,
No, you guys are. I think one of my big observations, and get back to your nitty gritty stuff, is Florida. I've talked to Frank about this. I've always, watched it from my jobs when I was up north, particularly my counterparts who were down here versus where I was. Whether I was in Norfolk, Virginia, or I was in, Washington D.C. or Raleigh, North Carolina. Florida, man, because I used to do the McDonald's kitchens, and I'd see my guy in Florida. He's had so many jobs. He had reloads, they were reloading the McDonald's because that isn't the main road into town anymore, and rebuilds because that store was old and,
Had to
wasn't,
freshen it up.
had to, get it beefed up for the area
Beefed up. Pardon the pun.
yeah,
Quarter
we
pounder.
really have to beef it good, Frank.
Mhm.
Those licorice make you smart.
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
think so. Wally Wallaby. And then of course the quantity of stores, because you got all these people. If you got 1,000 people coming in, then for a while we had 5,000 people coming in. Now it's kind of trickled back to 1,000 to one of my real estate agents. That's still 1,200 people a day coming into Florida.
that's a lot of people.
And then when you drive up and down the turn and see all the land that's out there in Florida that's untouched, and oh my God, it's overwhelming.
Well, we used to have 600,000 acres of orange groves in Florida,
Right.
and now we're down to about 300 because of greening disease.
And then what are they putting in its place? They're
and homes,
Yeah.
and you think about the wildlife that's displaced,
Oh,
in an orange grove, there's it was somebody did the research on this, and I remember it was 159 species of wildlife in an orange grove. We had panthers and bear and deer and hogs and
right.
duck and turkey and just on and on and on,
Right.
and just all the different bird species and everything. So what's
Yeah.
going to happen as
Yeah,
all
they
those are
look
displaced?
fine with
I
all
guess they're
that.
going to be living in your yard, John.
They could be. I got a couple in there right now. I got a gopher tortoise. The crows come and eat his eggs every year.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, and sure we
Yeah.
got. I got incoming. I got those Tweety ducks. Have you heard those ducks that whistle?
Oh, yeah, whistlers. Yeah.
Whistlers.
Yeah.
Never seen that before until this year.
They're beautiful, beautiful ducks.
Yeah, and they take off,
Orange
and
bill
it's like they do a flyby, after they've taken off, and they're tweeting away.
Yep.
Aw,
Yeah,
How
it's pretty
cool is
cool.
that?
Yeah.
They whistle. Yeah.
The only thing that orange groves don't have is fish.
no fish.
No fish.
No, unless there's
Might
a
have
pond.
do they have those fish with the legs that come out? in
No, the
storm?
reservoirs they're full of bass.
Oh, there's
yeah.
all over. Yeah, you've been out there fishing a few
Because
times.
most people don't understand, like on farming, I think this maybe happened in the 80s or 90s, but it's almost like 20% of the land has got to be, reserved for a reservoir so they can hold all of their own runoff if there's a storm or whatever.
Mm.
And then they recirculate that water and reuse it. But it's
Okay.
I guess that's probably the big difference between a farm and, replacing that with a home
Right.
is what's going to happen
They're
with all
just
that
consuming
stormwater
that water.
runoff.
Yeah.
And it's going to be running off in the lagoon, and that's, and
Wow.
then also, like Dr. LaPonte, he's done a lot of research like on the river, and with septics, there's actually 9 pounds of reactive nitrogen that's leached out of a healthy septic, per person per year. So you
which
figure
is
all the
negligible.
people, you figure all the people lined up along the river here that got septics,
Right.
and that's not counting a storm that's going to leach more through,
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of issues, and that's I guess that's what I really, am I guess fired up about is saving our heritage here in Martin County, because
a lot of jobs, a lot of money.
you think about our heritage here, back in the day it was citrus, cattle, farming,
Yes.
and nature,
fishing.
the river,
Yep.
And fishing and all those
Right.
things. And so, we've got the potential to lose citrus, and, we're also, what are we doing to the environment,
Right.
polluting the
Losing the
river
fishing.
and losing the fishing and all those things. So, I mean, what's our grandkids and your great grandkids, I guess, right?
Coming up.
Yeah, when are you having those, Frank?
Well, the grandkids, I got 4 of those.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Well, just
I'm-
give them a
I'm
couple
already
years.
well seated on that.
There you go.
In good shape.
Working on grandkids, I got to work on another 5-10 years maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal.
So they're coming
Coming
along.
on. Yeah.
You don't have any
Yep.
grandkids yet, do
No,
you?
no, not yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're such a
We're working
you're
on
a
it.
youngster.
Yeah. So Peter and Clara, they're married. My son is. My daughter's not married yet. She's a nurse in Orlando,
Okay,
Nice.
good.
and
Well,
so
she's
she's
doing good
finishing
stuff.
up nurse practitioner.
Mhm.
And
Good.
so,
That's
but
nice.
no
So-
grandkids yet, but we're working
Coming
on
on.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, my kid. Well, I got one kid in Orlando. The other one right now is in Croatia.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're sailing over there. They just finished. Actually, they're in what's the name of that place? Venice.
Oh yeah.
They're in Venice for a day and a half, and then they fly home on Friday, I guess. Dee Dee's got a direct flight from
August 5, huh?
Yeah,
Wow, how cool is that?
August 5.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's well. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Off here.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Gee, Don, how stupid can you look? Pretty
No,
damn
sorry.
good.
No, not at all.
Boy,
no.
Frank, you've
No,
been
I-
getting me today. What am I? Am I losing my? I must be losing it.
No. No.
Frank and I have
it's
been
fine.
on the radio together about what, 4 years now? 4 or 5?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
I just did one day. I volunteered in this networking group
Oh,
we were
yeah.
in. I
And
said,
now-
"Oh, I'll volunteer for being a co-host." Here I am,
Yeah.
5
There you
years
go.
later.
Yeah.
There it is. That's
Sucker.
the best decision you ever made.
But I got my own show. So
Yeah.
There you
it's,
go. Yeah.
yeah. The Jon Campion Show. Always wanted it. Yes.
I've listened to it a couple times.
Yeah. Well, we're
you're
gonna.
really good.
I let you see.
Yeah.
I let our. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
You
Frank
can
does
do
a
a-
good job of putting things together.
Yes, and you can do a listen back, which is kind of nice on YouTube.
Who? Oh, I bet you.
Oh,
This is Palm City Charlie.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I can answer it. There it is. Okay. We got a caller in our newsmaker line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Big Frank. Hello, Big John.
How you doing?
And say hi to Big Lee.
Big Lee, is it?
Yeah.
I missed the name of Lee's company.
Yep. Sure. It's
Clean Sweep
Clean Sweep Pest
Pest
Management. Clean Sweep.
Clean Sweep
Yes.
Pest Management.
Yes.
Wow.
30 years experience. Nobody
Killing
knows
bugs.
bugs better than they do.
And this is true, Charlie. I wouldn't, you know me, I wouldn't try to fool you on anything.
No, you better not.
You
No,
can
this is
you can give them a call at 772-775-5174.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Or 833
Um,
DOA bugs. That's our
what is
dead
it?
on- dead on-
833
yeah,
DOB.
You know,
DOA bugs.
I
That's
think
very
dead
good.
on
somebody
arrival. Yeah.
mentioned Croatia.
Yeah, that's that
Right.
was me, John.
Yeah,
John
Cro-
mentioned that.
I've been to Croatia. It is a beautiful country.
From the pictures
Gorgeous.
I'm getting, I can tell.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I spent time in Venice. You mentioned Venice.
Yeah.
I've not been to either or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't invite me on this trip.
I went to the Vatican
Mhm.
store, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I bought a bunch of stuff for my, whatever, my son, etc. And I
It's for yeah. This
jokingly
is for
said
my
to the
son.
lady-
Yeah.
I jokingly said to the lady, the Pope gets his cut, right?
She thought you were talking about him
She freaked
Putin.
out. She freaked out. She goes, well, the Pope blessed everything. The Pope blessed everything.
That was too funny.
You imagine him walking
Now
through
was
the
that when
store.
it was John Paul was the
And
Pope?
he's
Or...
got a cut. He's got a cut. You kidding me?
Yeah. We've had this stuff here for 10 years. Let's see, that was
See, you're
Pope.
from New York, right?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Come on. Everybody's got a thing, you know. I think it's called a side hustle today, you know.
There you go.
Right.
done.
Well, I just wanted to also say with the composting,
Yes.
John, composting toilets. Come on.
Yeah. Hey.
Come on. You got a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're
Yeah,
gonna
I
compete
can
with
get
me a bit,
some,
you know.
I'm more
People will compost their own backyard.
yeah, but I don't, I've seen some of these from these outhouses out in life below zero up in Alaska.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
You could have Toto invent you one. You know,
There
you
you
got it in with Toto.
All right, I'll make the
They could-
suggestion.
Yeah,
We'll see what we
those
call it.
Japanese
Compost.
people like to make money. You know?
And we can kill the flies. That's going to attract.
Yeah, and Lee will,
Enjoying the show.
and
Big friend.
Lee is
And
going to
big
kill
friend.
the fly. Hey, Charlie,
Yeah.
Lee's going to get the flies that are flying around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
definitely going to attract some
So,
flies.
Hey, you could catch them. Yeah, that is going to attract some flies.
On the board, Frank,
Yes.
on the board, Charlotte Mintz, there's a Ellie's Downtown Deli certificate.
Yes.
I called Evan.
Okay.
That's my wife. You met Charlotte.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
I
All
got
right,
it.
so you
I'll
could
look
grab
for
it. You could grab it for me, Frank.
Okay, you got it, buddy. I'll
All
look
right.
for it. All right, you got it.
All right, and we'll get together coming up.
Okay.
right.
All right. Count on it.
All right, take care.
See
Thanks
you,
for the call.
Charlie.
All right. Take care.
Adios.
All right.
Bye.
Adios. Adios, amigos. All right. Very good.
Charlie's our regular caller
He
from
is.
Palm City.
And
He's-
he left the line just in time.
yeah. Oh,
It's that mystical, magical time once again, but we will be
just a
back.
quick break.
Stick with us. We'll be right back. And now back to the show. Here's Jon Campion.
Hey, Frank, thank you. And you
Mhm.
pronouncing my name right like you. Mezapel. I'm just going to start calling you from my car and let the lady from.
I got to hear it. I got to hear that.
I'll do a recording and send it to you or something.
That is so cool.
Yeah, sometimes you got a name and they go, okay, that's close enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, they
I
can
have
butch.
I have two Fords, right? I
Yeah.
have the Escape and I have the Focus, and the female voice on the Bluetooth is the same voice, but different vocal inflection. So I get what you're saying.
Wow.
In two different cars,
Wow.
same manufacturer,
Yeah.
same device. It's amazing.
So if you say call Jon Campion, does it say Campione?
No,
Is it Champion? Jon Champion?
no, actually, it's pretty close. Pretty close.
But
But
say it like my wife, Jon Campion. Then I know it's time to go.
You better go, right?
Yeah. That gets
But
me
when
out.
your middle name gets mentioned, that's when you know you're in trouble.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about
Oh, yeah.
that.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Lee, do
right.
you get that? You used to get the middle
oh,
name.
man. Yeah.
when
When
you
my
were-
mom would holler
Yeah.
up, and
Mhm.
include my middle name.
Yeah, look out.
And my middle name's real hard to, to misinterpret. So it's, I mean, when she called my middle name, I knew who she was talking about. Yeah.
This is
Ruh-roh,
serious stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love it.
Well, we've told so many stories about our youth and growing up, and Frank, his dad was a pioneer back in the day. Really, I mean, with his paint store and everything in
He did.
Ithaca,
In Utica.
Utica.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I get
That's
those
okay.
confused.
Yeah, Utica, Michigan.
It's because that's a good gun.
That's-
Yeah.
Ithaca? Yeah, it's from New York.
Oh, that's right. That's where the prison is.
Mm. Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's where. Well, anyways,
Hmm.
Utica.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm eating.
Sorry. Willie Wallaby.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
covering for you.
Yeah.
So he opened his store in Utica, and he had it there for.
No, actually, he opened his first store. He opened. I'll tell you this briefly because I'm taking away your time. But he opened his first store in 1952.
which is the year he got married.
Yep. He
Saw
was.
a picture of him.
Yeah. In Detroit, he was actually renting. He was actually the manager for that store for the guy who owned it. His name was Duncan, Bill Duncan, and so he was doing all the work, right, making the deposits, doing everything. And so after he gets married, before you know it, I'm coming along. So he approached the guy and he says, listen, I need a raise. And he goes, well, I can't afford to give you a raise. He says, all right, well, how much you want for your shop? So my dad bought the business at that point. And then,
Guy saw a good way to get out and play some golf.
right, exactly. That's why, that's what was going on,
I'm going to stand out front.
right? So I ended up moving to Utica, which is
Okay.
just north of Detroit, just before the riots.
Okay.
66, he moved to 67, something like that. 67, I think.
With the riots
he
in
was-
68.
68. So 67, I think he finally completed the move.
You didn't know about that
Yeah.
stuff, did you?
I was born in 67, so
Mhm.
I guess they had the riots after I was
You
born.
know,
then.
I lived in Chicago at the time, and we were in a suburb 20 miles north of downtown, and we could see the smoke from the riots in Chicago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Detroit, it was pretty.
Detroit and Chicago, they were a rival cities having a,
In baseball, especially.
Well, yeah,
and,
but
and
they-
football, right?
oh yeah. And then my roommate mentioned to me from college, he mentioned to me the other day about the day that Comiskey had that big record burn.
Mm,
They burned all the
LPs. They would they had a program like was it like once a month or once a
no, as they had everybody bring their disco records,
right, but
and they
he,
threw
but
them in a
every so often he would have a different promotion,
okay.
and this was one of the
Well,
promotions.
this one went nuts. The fire was so big they had to cancel the second game, and
Wow.
it was bad. Anyways, we got to
Crazy.
finish with Lee and get
yeah,
him.
yeah.
We talk about all this stuff. So
So you started your business what year?
In 2021,
2021.
Virgin,
Wow. So
He's
okay.
Virgin.
January 11, 2021.
See, he knows the date.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So it's good. So January is good month to get a business started. That's good.
And you're really running open, full, or taking orders, going out and doing. You're going out and doing everything.
Yeah.
You started it then, and so in a year and a half, you've accumulated 200 plus customers. You've
Right.
come up with a couple other ideas. I'm telling you, the compost thing to me is a no-brainer winner.
Yeah, as a winner. Yeah, absolutely.
Chicken dinner all
Right.
the way. So
Well, for those people that are, conscientious about not wanting to, pollute the environment and,
Right.
cause the algae blooms and all that stuff, then it's a good fit.
I'm
So,
all for it because I live on one of those. I'm in a gated community in Palm City, and we have a pond lake behind us. That's fairly good size because it wraps around, and you know, I know when I see that the guy has come and done our yard, I'm like, God, I wonder how much of that's running into the pond
Sure. Yeah.
and everybody else around it.
Well, and as you got sand like we do here in Florida, it's gonna leach. It's gonna go. So
it's leaching. So
yep.
I'm excited about talking to you more about doing this.
You mentioned earlier that the soil composition, there's some clay in the soil, but we don't have a whole lot down here.
Right. Right. Yeah. So soil, is made up, it can be sand, silt, clay, organic matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's different, each type of soil has different ability to hold on to nutrients.
Right.
So like they call that a cation exchange capacity. That's this soil's ability to hold nutrients. Sand has got a cation exchange capacity of like 1 to 5 milliequivalents per 100 gram. And clay's got a cation exchange capacity of 25 to 100 milliequivalents per 100 gram. And compost has got a cation exchange capacity of 250.
Nice.
So
even better than clay.
It holds the nutrients.
Wow.
And it's got the best affinity to hold the nutrients. So it's going to increase your nutrient. Even if you put fertilizer on top of the compost, it's going to help hold it so it's not leaching into the estuary.
And is one other thing here, I just realized that is the compost that you're referring to the plugs that are pulled out and
no, that's aeration. So what we like to do,
tell us the process of what happens when you
so a lot of customers have got where their grass is maybe thick on top and they got a lot of runners, and so it needs to be cut in some form or fashion, and then also aerate. So we actually aerate the soils. We get a machine that will run over it and punch little plugs out and pulls little plugs of soil out.
Yeah.
So we open it up, brings air in, and then we put the compost then on top of that, and then the soil amendment compost, and it goes all through there, and it adds life. The compost has got over 200 different microbes in there. We use a compost that actually comes out of Gainesville, and there's all different types of compost, and you got to be careful about that too. But the compost that we use, it's actually the same compost they use on the University of Florida football field and stadiums all around. So it's a very very safe compost, and it's it's full of life.
So I can start rooting for the Gators now.
There you go. Go Gators.
That's great.
Go Gators.
Go Gator. Go. No, that's cool. Are you a rabid fan?
Oh yeah, I love the Gators.
You go up to the games or anything? No?
I used to actually. Brian Powers and I have gone to. We were doing like at least one game every year. Take the camper up there and camp out at Fifield Hall and go to the game. Take the kids up.
Get the whole experience.
Some big time.
I had season tickets to the University of Virginia for 14 years.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, we went to a lot of games and saw the Cavs.
Wow.
Go from
UV.
The first year we got the tickets. They were cheap because they were owing whatever.
Right.
For several years, and then they started winning, and then but they started winning. We were buying the same tickets every year, and then gradually our seats became really good, and they became a really good team and made all the bowl games. So, anyways, I can relate to that. Just trying to get the bourbon in there was the trick. Right. I think they sell it now. It's crazy. All those preppy UVA fans. Yeah.
Right.
I always wore jeans and a T-shirt to kind of go against their khakis and blue shirt and their blue blazer and their deck shoes.
Well, you have to, set your own trend.
Well, I didn't have any hair.
Well, Gators UF, we were all about shorts and staying as cool as possible.
That's smart.
That's cool. No, that's good. It definitely gets hot. So with that, and then this will just take 2 applications a year is what you would do.
Yep, 2 applications a year.
And can you tell noticeably after? I guess it just depends on the severity of your yard.
But, right. Yeah.
Well,
some of these yards, I get some pictures before and after, like 21 days after you put the compost out, and compost is going to slow feed. It's not a quick. It's not a quick turnaround. For example, like urea is 45% nitrogen. And so it's very concentrated, and whereas compost is, right around 1%. So it's very low impact, and it. So
the other stuff's supposed to it's just supposed to react.
It'll green it up, green it up fast, and whatever the roots don't grab leaches into the estuary. Right. So it's that's the difference.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you don't have to worry about taking care of a yard?
We do have. That's right. We have our own
people.
People. We got people.
We
We got
have
people.
peeps.
We have people.
Yeah. Frank's like that. He's got all these
Well,
people
we live
working
in a
for him.
condo association, and they have their
Yeah.
own landscape.
No, that's good. It's all good.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your approach with with this area? Are you sending mailer? Are you going to do like direct mail?
Yeah,
or
we've
just-
done mailers out. Word of mouth is always the best.
Yeah.
On our composting trailer, we're going to put some nice logos on there. Have our company logo, Clean Sweep Pest Management. And
When would I expect that you would come out and maybe do that to my yard? I mean,
next week?
Okay.
You ready? Right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just got to make sure that the yard is cut. And we'll talk about that. That's very interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another important thing. Do you want to? Because I know when you cut the lawn, that damages the grass a little bit, especially if you cut it too short.
We
right?
noticed
So you
the
have
other
to be
day that
careful of that.
yeah,
It's
our
not going to burn, so you can put it out. Compost out before or after you cut. It really doesn't matter
okay.
because we'll go over the top and punch holes in it. open
My
it
wife
up.
noticed the other day. She goes, "These guys need to sharpen their blades."
Yeah.
She doesn't miss
Oh,
much. She's
that's the other cool thing about organic matter in your soil. It's also the University of Florida is finding that you can actually reduce pesticides and fungicides because your lawn is stronger, so it's able to fend things off for themselves. So
neat.
Nice. Even better.
Well, listen,
More
we
better.
have been so lucky to have Lee Jones from Clean Pest Management.
Clean Sweep Pest
Clean
Management.
Sweep Pest Management. And it takes me a couple years.
Well, it's easier to remember www.doabugs.com. Some people think it's Duabugs, but it's actually DOA's
I
dead
see.
on
I have
arrival.
you in on two. I have you on two emails. So
Okay.
There you go.
DOAbugs.com. Go and take a look at their website there, and also give Jon Campion a call at European Kitchen and Bath.
you could call me. Yeah, I might not. I can get rid of some of your. It ain't compost. Hey, maybe I should put that up on the marquee.
There you go.
It ain't compost.
Compost.
Well, we get rid of it.
Just
All right.
get it. Yeah.
We're
But
outta
anyways,
here.
we'll see you later, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks. See, that ends so fast.